Our story starts in a quite beautiful park. We meet a woman named Sarah. Sarah is sitting on a bench at the children's playground. She is watching her little daughter, Lucy, play happily. Next to Sarah, there are three other women. These women are also mothers. They are watching their children, but they are also gossiping. Gossiping means talking about other people's lives in a bad way. These three women love to talk about everyone in the town, but Sarah is very different. Sarah does not like this woman. She feels very bored and annoyed by them. She is actually doing a private study in her mind. She is trying to understand why women in these quiet towns act this way and why they always talk about other people. Suddenly, a very handsome man walks into the playground. He is holding the hand of his little son. The three gossiping women look at him and get very excited. They call him the prom king because he is so handsome and looks like a popular high school boy. All three women like him, but none of them are brave enough to go to talk to him. The man just plays with his son and then walks back home. The women just stare at him. The next day, the handsome man comes to the park again. The women start talking about him. Sarah thinks these women are very silly. She wants to show them that they are cowards. She makes a bet with them. She says, if you think you are so smart, I will go and get his phone number for $5. The woman agreed to the bet. Sarah walks over the man. She sees him pushing his son on the swings. She introduces herself. She says, hello, my name is Sarah and my husband's name is Richard. Richard works in marketing. This is my daughter Lucy. Sarah also tells him a secret. She says, those three women over there call you the prom king. At first the man feels like strange, but Sarah smiles and says, you should take it as a compliment. It means they think you are very handsome. Then she asks for his name. The man smiles and says, my name is Brad. Then Sarah tells him about the bet. She says, if you give me your phone number, I will win $5 from those women. Brad laughs and says, okay, I will give you my number, but I want half of the money. Brad reaches into his pocket to find a pen, but he does not have one. Sarah does not have a pen either. So Sarah gets a crazy idea. She says, just give me a hug and kiss in front of those women. That will be enough to win the bet. Brad agrees. He hugs Sarah, and because he thinks she is beautiful, he kisses her on the lips. The three women watching get very angry and jealous. They quickly take their children and go home. When Brad goes back home, he cannot stop thinking about Sarah. He remembers the kiss again and again. Brad's life looks perfect on the outside, but inside he is very sad. His wife is named Kathy. Kathy is very beautiful and she has a very successful job. But after their son Aaron was born, Kathy stopped paying attention to Brad. They do not even sleep in the same bed anymore. Brad has not felt his wife's love for many months. He feels very lonely. Brad spends all his time taking care of the house, doing office work and watching football on TV. 10 years ago, Brad wanted to be a professional football player. But when he got married, had a baby and his dreams ended. Now his life is just doing chores without any love. On the other side, Sarah is also very unhappy. Her husband Richard is always busy. When Richard is at home, he secretly looks at a dirty picture of woman on his computer instead of looking at his wife. He does not love Sarah and he never spends time with her. So Sarah and Brad have the same problem. They are both married, but they are both crying for love. Sarah spends her whole day cleaning the house and taking care of little Lucy. When Sarah first married Richard and moved into this house, it was not a new start. Richard was married before. His first wife died. The house is still decorated with all the first wife's things. Sarah was not allowed to change anything. She feels like a stranger in her own house. Brad has a friend named Larry. Larry is a retired police officer, but Larry has a very sad past. Once he was working as a policeman, he made a mistake and a child died in a shopping mall. Larry feels very guilty and sad about this mistake. Because of the guilt, he quit his police job. Now he plays football with a local team to pass the time. One day Larry asks Brad to join the football team. Brad agrees. Playing football makes Brad feel happy again. Soon Sarah starts bringing her daughter Lucy to the local swimming pool. Brad also bringing his son Aaron to the pool. They start talking again. They talk about their sad life and their unhappy marriage. Slowly they start falling in love. One day Sarah invites Brad to her house with her husband is at work. They share a very intimate and romantic moment. After this they feel very happy. They feel like their empty lives are finally complete. They start meeting each other secretly very often. But soon, Brad's wife Kathy starts to get suspicious. Little Aaron talks about playing with Lucy. He also mentions Lucy's mother. Sarah Kathy feels strange about this. She wants to see this woman. So she tells Brad, we should invite Sarah and her husband to our house for dinner. Brad cannot say no. If he says no, Kathy will know he is hiding something. So Sarah and Richard come to Brad and Kathy's house for dinner. At the dinner table, Brad and Sarah look at each other differently. Kathy is very smart. She watches them closely and listens carefully. After the dinner, Kathy calls her own mother. She tells her mother, please follow Brad when I am at the office. See where he goes. So everywhere Brad goes with his son, Kathy's mother follows them. Because of this, Brad and Sarah cannot meet each other for many days. After some time, Kathy's mother stops following him because she finds nothing. A few weeks later, Brad has a big football game. He plays very well and his team wins. Suddenly, he looks into the crowd and sees Sarah. She came to watch him play. Brad is so happy. He runs to her, hugs her tightly and kisses her. He says, I cannot live without you anymore. We must do something about our relationship. Sarah asks, what should we do? Brad says, let's leave this town. Let's run away together and start a new life. At first, Sarah is scared, but she looks into Brad's eyes and sees true love. She agrees. They make a plan to run away in a few days. Sarah decides she will take little Lucy with her. Brad decides to leave everything behind, even his son, to be with Sarah. Now, let us talk about different story happening in the same town. There is a man named Ronnie. Ronnie has a very bad mental sickness. He does bad things to women and young children. The whole town knows about his sickness. He even goes to the local swimming pool and stares at the little girls. One day, Brad and Sarah see him at the pool. Brad yells at him, the management comes and they throw Ronnie out. Ronnie lives with his old mother, May. May knows her son is sick. She wants him to be happy before she dies. She wants him to find a good woman and get married. But everyone in the town hates Ronnie. May puts an advertisement in the newspaper asking for a wife for her son. Finally, one woman agrees to go on a date with Ronnie. The date goes well at first, but when the woman brings him home, Ronnie's sickness takes control. He acts very badly and scares the woman. She gets very angry, kicks him out of her car, and drives away. Ronnie is alone again. Brad's friend, the ex-policeman Larry, hates Ronnie. Larry thinks Ronnie is a danger to the town. One day, Larry goes to Ronnie's house. Larry starts shouting very loudly at Ronnie's mother. May is very old and weak. The loud shouting gives her a heart attack. She is taken to the hospital and sadly she dies. Now Ronnie is completely alone in the world. The day comes for Brad and Sarah to run away. The plan is to meet at the playground at night. Sarah packs her bags. She does not tell her husband anything. She puts little Lucy in the car and drives to the playground. She sits on a swing and waits for Brad. Meanwhile, Ronnie is very sad and confused without his mother. He does not want to have bad thoughts anymore. So he does a very terrible and painful thing to his own body with a knife to stop his bad thoughts. After doing this, he goes to the playground, sits on a swing in the dark and cries. Sarah sees him crying but does not know what he did. Suddenly, Sarah looks around and sees that Lucy is missing. She panics. She runs everywhere looking for her daughter. She is crying and terrified. Finally, she sees Lucy standing in the middle of the dark road. Sarah runs, grabs Lucy and hugs her very tightly. She puts Lucy in the car and cries. She realizes she is making a terrible mistake. She cannot take her daughter and run away. She decides to go back home to her husband. She knows her marriage is bad, but she will try to find her own happiness there. Where is Brad? Brad packs his bags and leaves his house. On his way to the playground, he sees some boys playing with skateboards. Brad wants to show them a cool trick. He jumps on a skateboard, but he falls down very hard. He hit his head and is badly hurt. An ambulance comes. While he is in the ambulance, he realizes he is making a mistake too. He tells the ambulance driver, please call my wife Kathy. He decides to stay with his family. At the playground, the angry policeman Larry comes looking for Ronnie. Larry feels very guilty because he caused Ronnie's mother to die. He sees Ronnie bleeding on the swing. Larry feels very sorry. He picks Ronnie up carefully, puts him in his car, and drives him to the hospital. Larry saves Ronnie's life. By doing this, Larry finally forgives himself for his past mistake. The movie ends here. It shows us that running away from problem is not the answer. Sometimes we have to make hard choice and fix the lives we already have. And that is the end of the story, my friends. What a very emotional and deep movie. It teaches us that doing the right thing is sometimes very hard, but it is better than running away. I hope you like this story. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Tell me in the comments, do you think Sarah and Brad made the right choice by not running away? And please subscribe to my channel for more full movie stories. Stay safe, be kind to your family, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.